What's up, guys? It's me, Lars, back at you with another hot YouTube video. I'm standing here outside of my house. Today, I'm going to show you a presentation about scholarly research on the Appalachian Dulcimer and a little guide I prepared for scholarly research on the Appalachian Dulcimer. So here we go with my presentation.
Alright, so here's my presentation on the Appalachian Dulcimer. So what exactly is an Appalachian Dulcimer? An Appalachian Dulcimer is a zither family instrument that's played horizontally across the lap. It can have either 3, 4, or 5 strings, and the frets are placed diatonically. So in order to play in different modes or play on a minor key, you have to use a capo traditionally. This is used in folk music of the Appalachian region, primarily on the East Coast, in bluegrass, old time, and traditions such as that. My interest in the subject comes from playing in a string band with a dulcimer player, an Appalachian dulcimer player. We recorded an album together, so if you have any interest beyond my discography entries on what this instrument sounds like in a contemporary context, just shoot me a message and I can send you that information. So we'll get right into the research portion of this presentation. Some encyclopedia entries. Lucy Long's New Grove Dictionary of Music and Musicians, 2nd edition entry on Appalachian Dulcimer is it's the definitive encyclopedia entry listed here. Other helpful entries include also Lucy Long's New Grove Dictionary of American Music entry from 1986, Charles Joyner and Charles Reagan Wilson's Dulcimer entry in the New Encyclopedia of Southern Culture, and Joan Rimmer's New Grove Dictionary of Musical Instruments entry from 1984. The 2001 is both extensive and contemporary when compared to the 2008, which is a little bit more compressed. There's just a few journals that regularly publish on the Appalachian Dulcimer. Dulcimer Players News started in 1975 from Winchester, Virginia. When I asked what a journal I should bring up in this to the dulcimer player of the band that I play in, he said Dulcimer Players News. And then also the Journal of American Folklore started in 1888 by the University of Illinois Press, posted some of the first scholarly research of Appalachian Dulcimer in the mid-20th century. So some early and definitive publication on Appalachian Dulcimer. One of the first really good books published on Dulcimer is the Dulcimer book by Ritchie from 1963. The first the first scholarly article by Charles Seeger in the Journal of American Folklore, the Appalachian Dulcimer, was published in 1958. And just the definitive book, Ralph Lee Smith's Appalachian Dulcimer Traditions, 2nd edition. This was first published in 1997. Most recently edited in 2011. These books listed here have great bibliographies and discographies on Appalachian Dulcimer. Joseph Charles Hickerson's Bibliography of Hammered and Plucked Appalachian or Mountain Dulcimers and Related Instruments from the Library of Congress, 1973. David Kettlewell's Dulcimer, Zithers, and Psalteries on Record. This is page 7 through 9 of Folk Review, of this article, Folk Review, but the Dulcimer portion of this is just on page 7. Michael Murphy's The Appalachian Dulcimer book has a great bibliography and a discography from 1976. 1975's Dulcimer People by Gene Ritchie also has a bibliography and a discography. And the most recent article published on this list is Metro Voloshin's The Appalachian Dulcimer, an essay and bibliography. This bibliography has, I'd say, about 25 resources on it. This was used to help analyze other resources, less contemporary resources, and it has a pretty good introductory essay as well. The major archives on the Appalachian Dulcimer are actually mainly on the East Coast. Like I said earlier, this is and it's truly an instrument of the Appalachian Mountains. Although you can find them at old-time festivals and all over the world, it's native to this part of North America. So the first archive is at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. This is the Dulcimer collections in the Archive of Folk Culture and the American Folklife Center. The URL is listed. The Vanderbilt University's Appalachian Dulcimer Archive in Nashville, Tennessee. They have papers and instruments. Berea College has the Appalachian Artifacts Collection. This is a great collection of dulcimers, historical collection. And Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond, Kentucky has the Homeward Ledford Papers and Special Collections and Archives. This is a group of papers about the Appalachian Dulcimer. There's a dulcimer collection at West Virginia University, which was not included because this archive is mainly in reference to hammered dulcimers. Other online resources about dulcimer include the Heart of the Dulcimer podcast. This can be just used to get a better idea of the culture of dulcimer and get some information about dulcimer. They have a great website as well. The Everything Dulcimer website. This is a retired website, but this now contains links to indexes of dulcimer-related materials, professionals, and articles published on the website. You can still follow the URL and find all of this information. I did this. It's a really great resource if you're trying to find any specific information on dulcimer. So the research strategies that were used, I started with a bibliography from Lucy Long's New Grove entry, because online access to this article allowed for easy reference to the essay and the bibliography included. The term that was most useful on search engines was Appalachian Dulcimer, although it goes by many names: Mountain Dulcimer, Kentucky Dulcimer, or Lab Dulcimer, or just Dulcimer. Appalachian Dulcimer brought up the most results on most search engines. So on Realm, I found access to the 2001 article with the essay and the bibliography, which helped me analyze other sources. I found other articles and book chapters and journals on JSTOR, and I discovered details about resources on WorldCat. So on WorldCat, I could see if a particular book had a discography or a bibliography before I went to the library and found it to analyze it. Other archives and online resources were found just by a simple Google search to be analyzed. Many of these were listed in bibliographies of articles and books. And just to cover some holes in the research of the Appalachian Dulcimer, there is really no standalone Appalachian Dulcimer discography, and there's no contemporary or modern discography that I could find. This is probably due to a lack of resources. Most of the publications on this are from the 20th century. There's a stigma in bluegrass communities kind of towards the Appalachian Dulcimer. I've seen it around, seen it before. People are playing fiddle, banjo, and guitar in a jam, and someone shows up with a dulcimer and everyone rolls their eyes. Unless you're in a jam with a bunch of dulcimer players, in which it'll probably be very out of tune. It sounds like a bunch of bumblebees playing. However, this stigma towards the Appalachian Dulcimer has probably led to a lack of contemporary historical research with any kind of depth. Granted, we do have the 2011 second edition of Ralph Lee Smith's book about Appalachian Dulcimer. However, it could be useful to have a discography. Another reason that there's probably no standalone Dulcimer discography is because it probably wouldn't sell very well. It would probably be hard to get it published without some kind of technique book to accompany, technique resources, historical resources, or honestly the use of other instruments within the book as well.
What's up, YouTube? It's me, your boy, Lars Swanson, here with another exciting video. I was thinking about dropping a new hot diss track about hammered dulcimers, but instead I figured I'd give you a presentation about my research process in putting together a guide on Appalachian Dulcimer. So I hope you enjoy my presentation. I just wanted to show you outside of my house as well. Thanks for subscribing and liking my posts and viewing my content. So make sure to like my other videos and subscribe to my channel.